suppose the only question there, Rich, is what's the reaction after that one?
Yeah, not acceptable. You know, we've spoke all week about how desperate they're going to be in the situation that they're in, making sure we're good with the ball and getting to the end of our sets and putting them under pressure, and we just haven't done that today. We've decided to come and take shortcuts, you know, third man retreat, just never really getting back. So that's an energy and effort, and that's a choice that they decided to make today. And you know, we still had a chance to win the game, but we didn't probably deserve to. You know, they were good for it, and you know, I think it's a little bit, you know, fair play to them. They scrambled well. They chanced their arm with offloads and troubled us in that way. But we were very poor today. You can't go from the performance we put in against Toulouse to what we've just thrown up there today.
I suppose you can't put your finger on it, or can you, at the moment, on why we go from such a high to such a low in a short space of time?
It's just between the ears. It's a mentality thing. You know, they've come here with a soft mentality, thinking they could just turn up and get the result, and you know, it not being the case.
We showed in bits, we seem to be able to cut through. I remember just before half time, before they got that kick, we sped up a little bit, seemed to go into a different gear, so we've got it in us. It just seems to appear and then disappear. That was
on the back of, you know, completing a couple of sets. I think we had 3 completed sets, and on the back of that we score. You know, and that was always this sort of scenario when we did score. So the message wasn't just get to the end of sets, put some pressure on them, make them come from their own line. But you know, we didn't. You know, with yardage, we made errors, and they punished us. They come up with a little trick play last play of the game, and it's come off for them.
And it's another one of those where you solely believe it's what we're doing and how we're going about things, rather than the other team just being better.
Yeah, they didn't throw much at us today. They carried hard, they carried strong. The shape that they threw at us just came down to a couple of poor reads by our edge defenders, which very uncharacteristic. So again, that shows and tells me that between the ears, they just wasn't there. They was doing things that we don't ask them to do.
So I had Bradford back at the Eco Power next week. What's the message now?
It's a huge challenge, isn't it? Because if we throw up a performance like that again, it's going to be a big scoreline that we're going to be under. So look, we'll have a real tough and honest week training. Our week can change. You know, from being, you know, bouncing last week off a really good win against Toulouse to the performance we've just put in today, and we're looking, you know, again. We're going to have to be tough on them. You know, we felt like we could, you know, ease off them this week. Momentum will help us into this week on the back of Toulouse, so we eased off them a little bit. But you know, it's going to be a pretty honest video session because they need to see it. They need to see what they threw up today.